Facebooking.
Okay, so we're live on YouTube right now, and I'm
Hi,
just going
friends.
to go over here to Facebook and go live. And we'll see if this connects everything okay.
Let me check.
Okay, it says we're live. That's awesome. Hello, everybody. Welcome and thank you for joining us. I just want to check and make sure we're live in the group here. And we
Yep.
are. Awesome. Welcome. Okay, we have like this super exciting session today all about email marketing. And we have a guest with us, Liz Wilcox. And before we introduce her, I want to talk a little bit quickly about why in the heck are we talking about email marketing? So Spreadsheetables, we're all about Google Sheets. And well, with Google Sheets, we love organizing our business, organizing our lives, and then also creating super valuable lead magnets for people. So that is the connection with email marketing, is just we found this huge success with kind of connecting these two. And just about any business needs email marketing. And I think it is massively underutilized. I think I can't remember the stat I threw out the other day. It's like is it like a $7 billion industry with email marketing? And so many people are missing out on this opportunity. So we thought we'd bring on a expert email marketing specialist to guide us through this. But really quickly, I'm going to share my screen and I want to show you guys. I have to add myself to the stage. I wanted to give you a sneak peek. This is one of our most successful lead magnets. It is Google Sheets. It's a digital product toolkit. And the success behind this is really connected with really understanding our target audience. So what do they need? What do they need to get started in their journey? And because we're Google Sheets and we teach people how to create and monetize Google Sheets, kind of that starting base point is kind of organizing their digital products, going through that creation process and tracking where they are with each of those creations for those digital products. Another thing that we like to do with Google Sheets and email marketing is really understand our numbers. So we like numbers because that's how we make decisions in our businesses. And so, for example, this is a lead magnet conversion calculator. Now, I know email marketing systems have data right in there in the dashboard, and okay, awesome. For us, sometimes we find that we have freebies in various different places, and we want to kind of tabulate that data and put it into one location and see what is performing best and what can we tweak to make better. This is just another like email marketing planner and tracker that we have. And then a few weeks ago, or maybe even a couple months ago now, we had done a business dashboard where you can use a Google Sheet to track everything in your business. So you're not scrambling around looking for everything. And so this is Spreadsheetables one specifically, but we have this email marketing section where we can go in and add mockups and swipe files or anything else that we use for email marketing to stay really organized and have that quick system for producing things and putting it out there. So that's enough of me blabbering on. Let's get into introducing Liz Wilcox. So I had stumbled across Liz in her Facebook group, I guess. Basically, she's got a great group. It's about 5,000 people. And I'm like, who is this Liz Wilcox? She's got this really cool vibe. I just watched the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air 30-year anniversary get together. And I thought of Liz because she's got this whole like fresh princess of email marketing. And so anyways, Liz had gotten started way back with an RV blog and really grew that with digital products. And of course, we're all about digital products. So we thought this girl is like right on with our audience, and what we're trying to achieve here is that passive income with digital products. And then Liz, eventually, I believe she sold that and then moved on to offering an email marketing membership, which I find is like her swipe files are just like unique and different. They're not like ChatGPT, like blah. It's like really good ideas that she has in there. And so she's helping thousands and thousands of people with their email marketing now. And so I won't talk too much more. I would love to hear, Liz, your story. Let's introduce you and welcome you to the Spreadsheetables crew here. And if you can, tell us about your background and how you got started, your blog, your digital products, all of that stuff.
Yeah. Hey, friends. Melinda said it best. I started as an RV travel blogger. And, when I would watch lives like this and, Google how to actually make money on the internet, everyone and their mother said, well, create digital products and sell them to your email list, right? So, like, some people forget about that second piece, right? But that's the most important part. Building, like creating, we're creators, right? We're creative. That's why we got into this. And so, that's why their number one list builder is, hey, let's organize your digital products, right? Like, that's so perfect. But so I know you're watching this, you've got that unlock. But what I really paid attention to was that email marketing part of it. Like, how are you going to sell it? And I didn't start my blog because I was passionate. I started it to make money. And so I started my email list the day I launched my blog. And I'd say about 6 or 7 months later, I created my first digital product. It was just a small ebook. I charged $10 for it. I charged, pay what you want. I tried all different sorts of things in the first few months. And y'all, it made over $7,000 in the first 3 months.
Oh
It
my
got picked up by an international sponsor. That's when I knew what I wanted to do with my life, like marrying, that creative side of myself. I loved creating these little digital products with email marketing, like getting really good at connecting with your audience. Like, that's when I knew, okay, I'm onto something. I can do something. And that was 2017. And I've been, you name a digital product, I've tried it out.
What was that digital product that you sold? What was your ebook about?
Listen, I'm so glad she just asked that.
Tell
Let
us your
this
secrets.
Yes, let this be inspiration as you're listening or watching. Like, it does not have to be complicated. My first digital product was a book called Tales from the Black Tank. If you don't know what the black tank is, in an RV, in a caravan, that's where the sewage goes, we'll say. So it was a tale of hilariously crappy RV stories,
Oh
right?
my
If you've ever, like, you don't even have to have an RV to know, like, carrying your sewage with you while going 70 miles down an hour down the road, like, there's bound to be some things,
I want to buy that
happening.
ebook. That sounds funny.
Right. So it was a very funny, like, kind of, sarcastic, sardonic type of, like, value add. The value really was just, let's commiserate together, right? Like, misery loves company. And yeah, it still sells to this day. I've since sold that blog and the rights to that book.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, the new owners, well, it's been 4 years. The owners, they'll say, yeah, that book still sells. So it's timeless, y'all.
That is
That's
funny.
awesome. I love that because a lot of people are selling things like, I don't know, how to get started with RVing or how to quit your job and, travel the world or those kind of things. But yours is like pure, just like people are buying it because they want to laugh.
Right. And that's something, especially as creators, like, if you're having trouble selling your digital product or coming up with your next idea, just ask your audience. And this is another reason to give email marketing a chance, because it's a more direct line to your audience, right? It's a more intimate channel than, oh, comment below, whatever, right? And so I never would have created that book. I actually hate potty humor. But I asked my audience, why do you follow me? I was kind of all over the place. I was talking about RVing, I was talking about being a mom. I said, why do you follow me? And they said, well, Liz, you're really funny. You can tell a good story. So what did I come up with? A book of funny stories, right? And so if you're having trouble selling or coming up with your next idea, ask the people that are already watching you, that are, those early adopters, especially if you're just starting out, those early adopters, those are the people you really want to connect with and create the product for them to buy.
That's
That's good.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And you had other digital products, or was that your like one and your
That
big
was my first one. Then I created, just like spreadsheets and checklists. Then I had my own digital summit. Then I created a digital summit with some partners. We created a bundle before the word bundle was a thing, but it was paid. And that's what we sold during our summit. Created a digital course that sold like crazy. That's when I knew I needed to go into email marketing. I created a digital course. I had 141 people on my wait list. A few months later, I launched the course, and it was, typical Monday through Friday type of launch. On Friday night, when the cart closed, I had made 141 sales. So
Wow.
every person on the wait list. Yeah, that's if you're new to digital marketing, I haven't been able to duplicate it. I've gotten pretty close. But that's when I knew, okay, I'm doing something with email that other people aren't doing. And that's where my true talent lies. That's the beauty of creating digital products is, you get to experiment, like find what you're really good at and going all in on that.
And that launch that you had, was it specifically email, like only email that you made
Yes,
your marketing, like
it
no
was
ads, none of
Y
that?
y'all, I lived in an RV, I did not have money, okay? Like, I always say Mark Zuckerberg has enough money, we don't. So, I've never run an Facebook ads or any other type of ads, everything's been organic marketing to
Mhm.
build my email list. So, that Monday through Friday sale was email only, it was 5 days, I think only 8 emails.
That's amazing.
Wow.
And that's funny because people don't really, you hear, oh, email marketing is, a thing of the past, we don't use it anymore. And the truth is, it's like one of the most valuable, and it's yours, right? The list is yours. Like the Facebook group is not yours. The Instagram followers are not yours. The email, it is your own audience, and, you can take them and wherever you go. So, uh,
Yeah, can I interrupt you and really like drive that point home because I feel like especially as creators, we just want to create. It's like email feels like you have to slow down to
mhm,
speed up, but raise your hand if you were alive in 2022 and you remember a social or a billionaire buying a social media platform, right? We were all alive, right? Keep your hand raised if you were alive in 2023 and you remember that social media platform lost all of its advertisers, half of its users, now has a different name. If
mhm.
you have built your entire audience on that platform,
Mhm.
guess what? You're screwed. You're wondering where your people are and where your sales went, right? Even just now before we hit live, or if you skip to the beginning of this, Melinda had to say, oh, well, we're live on YouTube, but we got to go live on Facebook now because in the last like 10 to 14 days, Facebook has changed its terms and you have to like natively go live in Facebook. You can't use the API key anymore.
Mhm.
And we don't own Facebook. We don't own Instagram. TikTok, who knows if that's going to be around in the next 2 years.
I
And
know.
so email is like the most like secure thing. It's a decentralized platform. One guy doesn't own the whole shebang, right? There's
Right.
Google, there's Outlook, there's Yahoo, there's ConvertKit, ActiveCampaign, MailChimp, right? So there's a lot of players in the game. So it's very slow to move. So you actually own your email list. I opt in to hear from Melinda. Melinda opts in to hear from Shahara, right? It's very consent based. You own it. Like, don't play around with your money.
Yeah.
Get an email list.
Yeah, that's so true. We've noticed in the last few months, people launching things, and Facebook is their major platform for doing those things. And then all of a sudden they're having to post, well, Facebook's not letting me post links, or I'm not even allowed to post in my group, or things
Yeah.
like that. So yes, they have been an asset, but they're definitely, you need that like solid foundation of like your email marketing to set yourself up. Now, Liz, I am dying to know, for those people that like aren't writers, do you have a writing background, or did this just like come to you naturally? Because I am not a writer and like hate English class, but I have a business and I have to write emails. So what's your background?
Yeah, I will say, I've always enjoyed writing, but more than that, and if you don't consider yourself a writer, listen up. I'm a connector. I love to talk to people, and I serve only the people I want to serve, right? One of the reasons I sold my travel blog was the majority of my audience were men in their 60s. And one day I realized I don't really want to talk to these men anymore. Like that's not really where my passion lies. But I got really good at connecting with them. And I said, oh, maybe more than writing, I'm just good at seeing people, right? And chances are when you're creating digital products, you're creating them for the people you can see, right? For the, these gals didn't create Spreadsheetables because they don't like online entrepreneurs, right? That's who they love to talk to. That's who they want to serve, right? And that's who they can connect with really easily and quickly. So you're creating a digital product. You don't have to be a writer, but maybe this is some tough love. Like you do have to be a connector. You do have to like talking to your people, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I love about email. It's not about being a writer. Actually, this is where I'm going to get burned on the marketing stake one day for hearsay. I don't like email marketers and, digital whatever copywriters that, really emphasize the writing part, that emphasize the storytelling aspect. Because guess what? Most of us aren't really good at storytelling, but somehow we all have friends, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Talking to you, Uncle John, at Thanksgiving, right? It's like, oh gosh, he get to the point, right? But we are good at connecting with the people we want to connect with, right?
Mhm.
And that's what we have to do in our emails. Don't try to tell stories or be, to Melinda's point, a writer. What you want to do is just quickly connect. It's a newsletter, not a novel. So if you don't feel like you're a writer, like, take a deep breath, relax, no big deal. Just try to connect with your audience. You can do this by just sharing short personal updates, 2 to 3 sentences about something you did since the last time you emailed them. Took my dog for a walk this morning. My car broke down. My refrigerator's empty. I've got to go grocery shopping after this. Just those are not interesting. That's nothing to like really write about, but it connects you with people. Oh, yeah, I need to go grocery shopping too. Oh, I don't have a kid. Thank God I don't need carpool, or like we're all connecting with
Makes
those
you
short
human.
little updates. Right.
Yeah.
Makes you human. Perfect.
Yeah. I love your emails, Liz, because when they come in, they are short. Like that's when it really like opened my eyes to, oh, you don't need these like massive long emails. I do have another business and I actually keep those short because I don't know, I don't want to read a big long novel from somebody, but that's me personally. But when I see Liz's emails come in, I know that like she's delivering value and it's going to take me 2 seconds to read. So I actually open them. So I love that what you're doing is like kind of driving home that they don't need to be this novel that we're writing and that you can keep them short and sweet and valuable for people.
Yeah. Here's the thing about that really quick. Again, it's a newsletter, not a novel. So when you get to the point and you get out of there, you're respecting their inbox. Raise your hand if you got more than 1,000 unread emails, right? A lot of, digital marketers, we're not, especially when we're writing those long novels, so to speak, we're not respecting their inbox. When you go into your inbox, I don't have my phone, but pretend this is my phone. I'm scrolling for something that I need, right? Like, oh, where's that? Where's that bill? Where's the thing, Melinda sent me? Oh, that's Liz. Oh, that's a fun one. I'm going to open that. I know she's going to get to the point and she's going to share something that I need, right? That's what we want to do. And so keeping it to the point, doing a little personal update to have that human connection and then just getting to the dang point.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you have a sales email that looks like a novel. They're going to read it because you've been respecting them and their time and their inbox for, weeks prior.
Yeah, I love that. And correct me if I'm wrong, the only time you kind of like stray from that is like a dedicated sales email. Is that right?
Yeah. Or when, when I really have something to say, right? If something really profound happens to me, or, we see those copywriters write those really beautiful stories. If I've got one of those, I'll share it. And usually I share those profound stories for the sales messages, right? To really drive home the point. So yeah, usually my sales emails are my longest ones, but even if we're going to do a launch, we want to vary the content. Short, long, medium, short, long, medium, right? We want to vary it. We don't want to be so predictable that it's like, oh, I know what's in that email. So we want to vary the content. So we're familiar. Oh, I know who Spreadsheetables is, but not so predictable that, oh, I'll get to that later.
Yeah. Nice. I know we dove into like email marketing, which we were going to talk about later, but that's fine. I like going all over. Do we want to shift into, I'm curious, like your transition into running a membership and that decision to let go of, okay, so we said we'd let go of the RV because that's like not the audience you want to deal with. You realize that email marketing is something that you're really good at. Can you talk about going into business with that and like when you got started and that kind of thing? We have a few people in our audience that have memberships as well.
Awesome. Yeah. So I started my travel blog and I sold digital products there. Then when I sold that blog and went into email marketing, I needed quick cash, right? So I knew that I needed services. I knew that I needed, to have like copywriting packages, like, hey, want to know how I did it over here? Now you can hire me type of thing. And so that helped me have cash injections month over month. But I knew, because I had done it over here with my travel blog, that I wanted digital products to be my thing eventually, to fully support me. And so I'm doing the services, and then every day I would just dedicate time to build my email list and, get some digital products out there. So my first one was just a quick outline, like it was called 20-minute newsletters. Like, hey, here's how to write a newsletter in 20 minutes. It came with like a little video or something. Then I knew, I'm really good at training. So I created live workshops, right? And that's a very quick way to create a digital product. You do it live, you sell the recording. So I did a few of those. And then really I just sat down to write my newsletter. And I was like, what the heck am I going to say to these people? And I had this idea, like, the biggest thing, and you're watching and you're like, yeah, that all sounds good, Liz, but I don't have time to write a newsletter. I don't know what to put in the newsletter. I don't know how to connect, Liz. Well, guess what? I know how to do that. So I wrote up in my newsletter, like, hey, I'm thinking of creating this membership. I'm going to send you a weekly newsletter template every single week. All the stuff I've been trying to teach you, you know what? I get it. It's hard. I'll just do it for you. I'm going 80%. You've got to take it to 20%, right? And I launched it, and I knew I wanted monthly recurring revenue because I'm a single mom. I support 3 households. Like, this feast or famine just ain't it, So I knew I wanted it to be a membership. I knew I didn't want to just sell one-off templates. I figured I could get the maximum amount of people in with a low cost membership. And I'm also the type of person that likes to help a lot of people. And so I said, oh, I'm going to do this every single week. You just get a newsletter template already designed for you. You copy, paste, zhuzh up, hit send. And I said, $9. Because at this time, I wasn't selling as many digital products as I wanted, right? I was looking at the numbers. I was looking at my email list. Like, why is my percentage of customers so low? And I said, okay, $9, that's going to get a lot of people in. They're going to see how awesome it is, and it'll get a lot more people in. And so that's exactly what happened. I got 100 people in the first 30 days. And now we are about a little over 3 years old, and we have over 4,000 members.
Wow, that is so cool. That is
not
awesome.
bad. Not bad.
Yeah, not bad. Andrea and I were talking about your membership, and what I love about it is when you go into your membership, it is email marketing. So I'm finding some memberships are like kind of starting to get into everything. Like, what else can we add? What else can we add? And it's like getting into all the topics,
You
where
want to
yours,
go over
I
everything.
know, yeah, it can be overwhelming. But when I go into yours, I know, like, email marketing, I need a template. I search for one, I grab it, and I'm out again. So that's what I love about yours, is that it's super focused.
Targeted.
Yeah, very targeted. I was wondering, with these email templates, do you ever like feel like you're running out of ideas, or like do the ideas just keep flowing for you?
I never run out of ideas. I mean, do you ever run out of things to say to your friends? You know, there's always something. And with the membership, some of the templates, well, most of the templates are very evergreen. You could send them today, you could send them 5 years from now. Some of them are more timely, you know. So if I'm running out of an idea, I think, oh, it's May 6th. You know, like what's going on this month that I could talk about? Oh, May is mental health month. Let's do that. So it's not evergreen. It's something you would only send in May. So that helps me when I'm feeling kind of, you know, oh, it's Monday. I'm tired. What am I going to write today? You know, it helps kind of figure it out. But I mean, it's the same. We're all digital product creators. Like, do we ever run out of ideas?
No.
If we give ourselves enough time, we'll come up with something for sure.
We've talked about that with Google Sheets. Like, it's just like endless. Like, the ideas,
Endless.
we can't create them fast enough. The ideas keep coming, and we just can't seem to create them fast enough. But
Yeah.
yeah, it just keeps going.
And I love that Melinda said about, you know, the membership being very like in a silo. It's just email. And there's even something about the membership. It's mostly, almost all, there's a few bonuses, weekly newsletters. So sometimes people will ask me, "Oh, is there like a webinar show up sequence in here?" And I say, "No, it's $9. This is a weekly news, like this is what you're going to send, weekly newsletter, right?" And there are some bonuses, like there is a sales sequence in there. I added a live workshop sales sequence, a pre-launch sequence, but those are bonuses. And so making sure when I'm selling it, you know, hey, actually, like this is the membership, like foundation, and anything extra is extra. So when you create a digital product, making sure you're, especially when it's low cost, right? You know, these people are only paying me $9. I can't very well just add every single request, right? So making sure you know, like, this is what the product is, especially a membership. This is what the membership does, and this is what the membership does not. And then you have a lot of wiggle room to surprise and delight your customers. When I add a sales sequence, when I add this or that, it's like, oh, it was just this, but now she's adding that. Amazing, right? So making sure if you're going to create a membership, really outlining, and maybe you don't have it the first few months, but as it grows, really outlining, yes, this is what I want my membership to be about. I can't muddy the waters. You know, I need to be able to sell it. So I need to be able to talk about it very clearly. Okay. And this is what the membership is not. So I can know when somebody asks me, you know, this is where my boundary is. I'm not going to create that for that price, you know?
Yeah. No, I love that. It makes it really, really clear. Can I ask you what your kind of split is for like revenue? You don't have to talk numbers specifically, but like your membership numbers versus those like one-offs.
Yeah. So I I love talking numbers. So last year, 2023, the membership itself made $450,000. Y'all,
Wow.
that's $9 product. So a lot.
Yeah.
That's wild. I love that.
And the one-off, thank you. The one-off products made probably 50,000.
Okay.
So as you can probably tell, the membership is what I push. And those extra sales are just, you know, obviously $50,000. That's my assistant's salary. So it's still, you know, I'm not cutting that off, right?
Yeah.
Still looking to grow. She needs a raise, right? And so I will say the first year it was mostly the one-offs Then I realized, oh, this membership is so easy to run. This is where I want the money to come from. And it just has slowly shifted over time. But I will say this year, I actually, so the reason I've made so much money from this $9 offer is I've actually created an annual rate. So you get in for a year, $108. That's $9 times 12 months. And you get all my other digital products for free. So kind of like Costco, right? You pay for the membership, you go in, you buy everything at cost. Well, my cost is zero. It's digital, right? So, you buy the membership fee, you get everything, right? And that has worked really well. So this year, I don't know, there was something in my gut. I feel like we don't talk about this enough. Like my instinct told me to cut that off, to not have that offer, but one time this year. And so I've been selling my digital products, my one-offs, a lot more. But with rebills, the membership has still been 80% of sales. So
Yeah.
that's been amazing. But I'm doing a lot of live workshops this year to kind of update my content. I realized that's what the gut was telling me. I need to update some of those things that I'm giving for free. So I actually have like it all planned out for the whole year, and I'm redoing like the most successful ones, and I'm upping the price of them. And then in November at the end of the year, I'll say, well, just get it all for one low price. If you didn't get it all this year because you couldn't afford it, like one low price. So that's going to make this offer even more compelling because all these prices have been raised. And it's going to up that $50,000 because people are still going to buy the one-offs, but the price will be higher. And I'll feel good about raising the price because I spent all year making the products better.
Wow.
So is your sales strategy for the membership mostly Black Friday? Is that when you sell it the most?
So I sell the membership every day. I sell the $9 a month membership every day. I've got a tripwire. I'm constantly list building so people see it. I've got it in my welcome sequence. And I try to push my membership. I need to do it once a month, but life, right? So I'm doing it at least every couple months where I'm like, get the $9, get the $9, get the $9. But previously, to Andrea's question, I was running that annual pass, I call it, that annual rate 3 times a year. I ran it in March,
Okay.
July, and Black Friday. And it did really, the last few times I've run it, it's been a 6-figure launch. So I know it's like so insane. I never could have dreamed. And so, but I love it though. And I think our Spreadsheetable friends will love this too, because it encourages me to keep creating these digital products, right? To make this bundle, even more enticing for people. You get this, that. If you're here, I have you can follow these tracks. If you're here, I have these products for you. So just get in the membership and you get it all. I love that product. I miss it. I wish I could launch it, but I'm not launching it till November.
Yeah. One thing I noticed that I love is that you are sending out that email template weekly to people. So some people that have memberships, actually even us, we're terrible at like announcing through email that we've launched new products. But Liz, you're consistent with this, like every week, hey, here's the new template, go to the membership. And I love that you're driving people to your membership, because sometimes with memberships, if you don't talk about it enough, people forget to like go in, they forget about the value. And then you might risk churn rate. So I don't know. I imagine that helps with your churn rate, is like driving people in there to make sure that they're using the membership.
Yeah. Don't hesitate to email your members. I know it can feel like, oh, well, if I email them, they might remember that they have this and they might cancel. I feel like that is like a real fear. So
It really is.
judging by your reactions, I'm onto something. But when Andrea, your face was so funny.
Because it's true. It's a legit
It's so
fear.
true. It's so, I mean, especially when I was in the first couple of years of creating products, if I had to like remind someone about the product, I'm like, oh, what if they look at it and they ask for a refund because it's actually garbage, but obviously it wasn't, that was in my head. So sending those emails to your members, yes, reminds them, log in, check it out. And something that I've done to reduce churn this year, because to be honest, my churn was terrible last year. I was very like checked out of my business. I was kind of all over the place. I took the entire summer off. And my churn just went down. I wasn't realizing that my website was breaking because I was offline, and it just wasn't holding all these new members. Anyway, so this year, on top of, emailing them weekly, hey, there's new content out. Don't forget this. I I built a whole new website. I created more of like a journey, right? Like first do this, then do this. And there's a whole start here course for my membership. And, even my assistant was like, Liz, this is $9. Like, they should just come in, search. If they don't like it, whatever. And I'm like, but the churn, baby. This is why they this is why I'm paying your bills. Like if you want the paycheck, we've got to figure this out. And so, a start here course. And then, I broke up some foundational trainings into like mini courses. I added a couple bonuses. So it flows a lot better now. And I have noticed a reduce in churn. Also making sure when failed payments come, you're sending out, a sequence of emails. Hey, this failed. This failed. I think my subject line for the first one is, this is awkward, but ... And there's like a GIF of me going like your payment failed, babe. And like, no worries if you don't want the membership, like don't do anything. But if you do, like log in here or whatever.
Yeah.
That is one of the reasons my churn went up so high last year. I didn't know, but something happened and that sequence was turned off. It's like 3 or 4 emails. And we lost a lot of customers. So that sequence actually does help. Again, email marketing. It's
Do you have
great.
that in your membership? Because I love that. I do. I have like a one email that goes off, but
I don't have it in my
this is
membership, but
awkward because it is so awkward to like, hey,
yeah,
your
it's like,
payment failed.
So how many emails do you have go out for a failed
I
payment?
think
Remember?
I have 3 or 4
Yeah.
that go
So
out.
don't be
So
afraid to like email them. Just do it.
yeah, don't be afraid. I mean, there's literally services that charge thousands and thousands of dollars to send those emails on your behalf. But if you have something like Samcart or Thrivecart, both of those I know for sure have the capabilities to send out those emails on your behalf, and you can edit them how you want them to look. So
Yeah.
actually, I don't have that in my membership, but I should add that as like an upsell.
There you go.
That should be one of those one-offs. Hang on, let
Yeah.
me write that down. You heard
People
it here
need that,
first. See,
especially if
we
you're
never run out of ideas.
yeah, right?
Yeah.
You could jot that one down.
Right.
You've mentioned, I believe her name's Patricia a couple times.
Yeah.
How, like as a business owner and you're doing digital products, how did that all start with, when did you realize, okay, I need to bring somebody in? Have you had burnout, like all of those things, managing life and your business? Because, a lot of people are juggling a lot of things. And how are you handling it all?
Yeah. So I know we're digital product creators and sellers, but when you are feeling in your business overwhelmed, oh, I can't do this, that, and the other, but I need to learn ABC. Always pay for the person to do that, this, that, and other before you pay to learn ABC. I always find paying experts to do things for you frees up your brain space so you can make more money, so you can, pay for the knowledge over here, right? So I tend to not actually buy a lot of stuff, but I'll pay for a lot of services.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned that because, wow, I don't think I burned out, but I was getting close, right? And I hired someone, they say, oh, hire a VA. So I hired a VA, and she was just the wrong one. She didn't really understand my business. One day she looked at my slides and she was like, "Oh, I didn't know those were your actual slides." And just for reference, I can like pull up my slides right now. Like, she was like, "Oh, they just looked so elementary." And I'm like, "That's the point." Like,
That's my whole
email
brand.
yeah, I was like, "Email is really hard. If I can make it kind of fun and seem like simple." Anyway, she just was not the one.
Yeah.
And so I had to let her go. And Patricia is actually my sister. So I don't feel like I'm the foremost expert on
Oh.
this. And I was really struggling. And she was like, "Let me come help you." And she had background with being an executive assistant for someone with an online business. And I said, "No, no, like it took me 20 years for you to like me. Like no." But eventually we did like a trial. I was launching and she said, "Let me just help you. Let me just manage your inbox for you." And so it was like a 30-day thing that turned into 60. Finally, after 3 months, I said, "Okay,
Tired.
we're jiving." But really it goes back to, if you're really at that point, save your money and hire good help. I saved my money and hired terrible help and felt even worse. So that might happen to you. You might hire someone and it might be a disaster. So I really recommend even doing what I did with Patricia. Hey, we're going to do a 30-day trial. Just do, A and B task, right? After 30 days, okay, maybe you do another 90-day trial, right? Okay, now I'm going to hire you for 3 months. Maybe it's just a contract instead of, coming on, and I'm going to add, C to your A, B tasks, right? And then, so you both acclimate to each other. And I found that that's what really did it. It took the pressure off of, "Oh my gosh, I've hired this person. Now they have to be my end all be all. And what if I have to fire them again?" To we're both just kind of testing each other out to see if this works, to see if you like it, to see if I like the way you work. And that has made all the difference.
Nice. That is good to know. And I didn't realize she was a family member because I was thinking, wow, this like lady is on it. She's like scheduling Liz's like live and she's putting all the stuff in place. I was like, I need somebody like this.
She doesn't have to be your sister. I think that's quite typical for the right
Yeah.
assistant. And for me, Patricia is not a VA.
Yeah.
But she was at first. Now I call her my
Mhm.
life manager. Like she really manages everything in my life, including like it's like everything but the groceries. But it's morphed. She's worked for me for, oh my gosh, I think 3 years now. So it's really morphed. That relationship has evolved from, oh, just do this, that, and the other, those ABC tasks, to what Melinda just pointed out. Oh, now she's in charge of the entire calendar. She says yes or no to whether or not we do something like
Mhm.
this, right? She, says, "Okay, yes, we can fill you in," or "Nope, you got to wait till September," or "Yeah, we're going to file that away," or like, "No, we're not interested at this time." Like she is the head of, basically I'm just the face now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds so nice because you like to create, and it's like us. We want to be creating spreadsheets, but we're stuck in the back end, like doing everything. And the thought of like hiring somebody, to manage our things, it's like you have to trust somebody enough, right? Because you're handing them your baby, basically, right? Our business is our baby, so you're handing them that thing and you have to trust them. And like, what if something breaks and then like the whole world will fall apart? It won't, but in our heads it will. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so glad Andrea said that. But I'd look at it again. It's the same with email. You don't just write a funnel and expect to make $1 million, right? Like, just write a welcome sequence, send out some newsletters. Maybe in a couple years, you're going to be ready for a funnel because you know what sells and why, right? It's the same with hiring an assistant. Don't hand them the baby, right? Like, let them change a diaper first. Let them clip their fingernails, see how that works, right? Like,
I love it.
and eventually, you
Yeah.
know, you get to go on a date and they stay
Right.
at home, right? Like you get the night off, right? And again, that took 3 years of working with this person and also letting them feel confident. I don't know if this is because she's my sister, but she really cares about the business. And every time I don't think it's just because she's my sister. Every time I hand her something new, it's nerve-wracking for her, right? Oh, well, I don't want to blow up the business like Andrea said. I know this is really important to you, and what if I mess it up? And so you as the business owner have to be okay with things totally breaking. You have to be the one that is calm and say, "You know what? I'm going to give this to you. I know it's hard. I know it's hard to say I'm going to give you this, but I'm also not going to fire you if you completely break it."
Right.
Because I have to learn how to let go and you have to learn how to do this. And that's the thing that I think aren't normally talk about. We have to learn to let go and let go of the consequences, right? Like I cannot stress to you enough about learning to let go and how hard it is, and to say, you know what, I'm going to trust you with this project. And if it's a disaster, you're going to own it. And I'm not going to be upset because I got what I wanted, which was time off or time to create this product. Right. And then we're going to figure it out because I'm still the owner. We're going to work together to figure out what went wrong and how you can do it better. But I'm not going to be a what about it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Because that's where you keep firing people. That's where you keep getting frustrated.
Yeah.
And so it's really important when you hand a task off to just know in your head that task is going to get broken. She's not going to do it the way you want it to be done. And I'm going to be okay with that because we're learning how to like dance together, right? We're going to step on each other's toes. But you as the business owner always have to be the one to say, it's okay if it breaks. It's actually not an emergency. I'm not the president of the United States. And, nobody's hitting the big nuclear red button. And if something breaks, you know what? We'll fix it tomorrow.
That's a good point. I'm a perfectionist, and I have issues letting go. I assume that no, it's so to me it will take a whole like mindset shift. You have to prepare, like you say, let it break. Just go in knowing that it is gonna break, but it's okay, right?
And
You
it
get to
probably
fix
won't
it.
break. I mean, it might be a little dirtier than if you didn't. But I love that Andrea just admitted about the perfectionism, right? Because I think we all have a little bit of that. But here's what do you want more? Do you want to be done your way perfectly? Or do you want to turn your computer off at a decent time? Do you want to have dinner tonight? Do you want to have time to, get on a call with your buddy? Like, do you want weekends off? Like, which one do you actually want? And I think that's going to help with the mindset shift of, oh, I can't. She's doing it wrong. Oh my gosh, I got to send her a loom. That's not how I wouldn't have said it exactly like that. Like,
The
well,
tech words.
right. I mean, some things are very important. Obviously the person needs to be aligned with your values and speak for you like through those values.
Yeah.
But, at the end of the day, like I really just love turning my computer off. And so it's like, I'm not even going to, at this point in the game, I'm not even looking. I'm not even going to look anymore.
And that's funny because I just had a baby. He's 4 months old, and I had two other kids, right? So when I had those first two, I was like extremely control freak to the point that like my husband would, offer to take the baby or do things with the baby. And I'll be like, no, 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 this is wrong. So like I've took on everything baby related. It was all me because he wasn't doing the way I was doing, right? Now with this third baby, I was like, listen, I have a business. I have two other kids. I have to do this. Take the babe, do whatever you want with him. Just return him to me alive in the end of the day.
Exactly. That's a perfect analogy, right? It's like, I need my rest. I need to do this other stuff. So, as long as it's still working, as long as it's still alive, just don't tell me. Just, I don't want to know.
I have to add, like, even though Andrea says she's like nervous about handing off, actually Andrea had started this business and I came on as a partner, And I went through kind of onboarding with her. She's like a rock star at like SOPs, and she's got a spreadsheet with all the SOPs laid out and categorized, and like, so she's got the skill sets for like being able to hand that off to somebody. So it is purely mindset. We have the systems and things in place to do these things. It's just like, yeah, the mindset is
And
difficult, and sometimes seems like more work handing it off than just doing it yourself.
yeah, but I think it also depends on the person, on the other end. Because with Mel, I knew she was capable, right? I was like,
Yeah.
listen, I started this. If you want in, we're doing 50-50. But you hold your way, I hold mine. I don't dictate what you do. You don't dictate what I do. And somehow we work together in such like an amazing, right? Synchrony.
Yeah.
Like we sync it together and in a beautiful way. So it just worked. Like I never had that word in my head, right? Like, oh my gosh, she's gonna break everything, and this is going to go to shit, and or
I take the odd thing, not too many things.
and it just worked. So I feel also like it would take the right person, on the other end
For our back
to
end stuff.
be able
Yeah.
to, yeah.
We just need that person
We
anyway.
just need that person.
So speaking of, having these people helping you in your business, we haven't talked about your Survivor thing, which I have been trying to keep up with. Liz is on Survivor. I think as of last week, you're still on it. So you can correct me if I'm
still
wrong.
on the show.
Still on the show. Woo! And I've been watching along. There hasn't been a lot of Liz featured. So I'm like, does she make it to the end? And I know you can't share any of that, but that is so cool that you were able to take, you took several months off in your business. What did that look like? Because that seems to be like what we all strive for. Is we're all about passive income with Google Sheets, but we really all know that there's quite a bit of work that goes into it to set yourself up passively. And if you disappear completely, things do eventually fall apart. So you need to show up or set systems up, and you still need to come back and, keep your business running no matter what kind of passive income business that you're setting up. Do you want to talk a little bit about how you set yourself up, how you were able to escape for a couple months?
Yeah. Well, I'm so glad you guys just brought up, SOP, standard operating procedures. So I applied to be on the show in November 2022. And I just knew I was going to get on the show. I just always, my whole life, I knew I would be on that show if I just applied. I applied one time and they called me 15 minutes later. Like
Oh,
sometimes
wow.
I just know stuff. Right. And so I immediately started prepping because they said, if you're going to be on the show, we're going to film sometime in April or May, maybe June of the next year, 2023. So I was like, oh my gosh, well, I run my own business. And sure, Patricia works for me, but it was only part-time. And, I kind of figured it out. So I actually hired a operations manager, and basically her whole job for 3-4 months was to take everything out of my head and put it into a standard operating procedure, everything out of Patricia's head, and put it into an SOP. And so we worked really hard for about 3 or 4 months, getting I was like, no wonder I'm always so tired. No wonder I'm cranky. I had no idea there was so much going on. And I run a pretty lean business. I mean, it's my one-off products and my membership, and that's $9. So you're not getting on a call with me or anything, right? I don't take clients. And so, getting all that out felt like such a relief. And I hired the operations manager to stay on and work part-time with Patricia while I was away. I what's the word? I promoted Patricia, and so she started working for me full time. And so I knew I had to be away for 5 weeks. And I said, well, let's make it so I can take 90 days off, because you never know. Like maybe I come back with a broken arm, or, my brain breaks because it's a really hard and manipulative game. I want to be able to take the whole summer off if I have to. And so we just prepped, we planned, we made sure all the emails were written, and we told our audience. We didn't tell our audience that we were going on I was going on Survivor, because I couldn't talk about it until, a year later. And so, but I said, I'm taking the summer off. Here's what's happening. And we actually walked our audience through everything that was going on behind the scenes. And while I was away, Patricia and my operations manager, her name was Megan, um, they actually did like ask me anythings and, talked about everything that went through. We called it like summer school. And then I was still sending emails from me to the audience saying like, whatever I had to say. And then there was a little thing at the top that was like Patricia and Megan note, Liz has been gone 3 weeks now, but as you can see, the business is still running. This is an email she wrote, in March, enjoy or whatever, so they were kind of commenting. It was very meta, right? So, uh, it was awesome. I took the whole summer off, and because of launches we already had planned, the membership with the rebills, I actually made over $1,000 a day while I was off of work.
That's
It's crazy.
Amazing.
so awesome. That's
That's what
incredible.
we're all here for. We want passive income. Well, we know that it's not, the passive, is as passive as it gets. Not 100% because you still have to do the work and still have to show up. But 3 months and still making $1,000 a day. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It was pretty intense. And yeah, to Andrea's point, it took me 7 years to get there, y'all. If you want passive income right now, I don't know, write a best-selling book and get Oprah to sell it for you, or Reese Witherspoon, or whoever does that book club nowadays. Like, that's the only passive income I know. Like, you gotta become, but then you gotta write the book. Then you gotta find Oprah, right? Then you gotta get on Reese Witherspoon's radar, right? Um, and now I do feel like I have a lot of passive income. I have a lot of free time, but it took, running a business and realizing, oh, I don't like that business, pivoting and building up my membership, doing a lot of, because I don't run ads, doing a lot of interviews like this so that, this interview can live on and find me, members today, tomorrow, next year, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's my thoughts on that.
Yeah. That's awesome. Did you keep some of the systems and things in place? Like you wrote emails ahead of time. Do you still do that? Is write a bunch of emails ahead of time, or how's your flow with email marketing?
Yeah, now I'm still writing. So instead of, every Monday writing a template for the membership once a month, I try to write 6 weeks worth.
Mhm.
And so right now I'm like, 4 months ahead. And so I'm actually taking the summer off again.
Oh, there you go. That was one of my questions, was if you would do it again, step away. But I guess since you've set up the SOPs and things, it's a little bit easier. Like you can, not all you have to do, but like set up your emails. Is there anything else you'd have to, prep your team?
We're gonna like check
Yeah.
in Facebook every now and then, maybe.
Yeah. So because we have these systems, we can manage our calendar right now. So,
Mhm.
oh, these are the things that we're doing. And even on this calendar, it's like start writing XYZ, right? So I'm writing emails this week for a launch in August, right? And, then Patricia over the summer will put those into our ConvertKit account. And so we're still using the systems. We're using it to, work a bunch, in clusters and then take a lot of time off work, which I think tends to be how I like to operate.
Yeah. Nice. Um, I guess we should circle back into some of the email marketing questions we had. What are some of the biggest mistakes you see with email marketing happening?
Just overcomplicating it. I mean, that's the same with anything, right? Trying to, turn 2 steps into 10 because the perfectionist in you says, amen, says you have to, right? So really with email, all I want you to do, create your lead magnet, write a really simple welcome sequence, and send out newsletters. Make sure in those newsletters you're selling your products, especially if you have more than one digital product. You can just put, PS, when you're ready, here are ways I can help you. Product A, B, C, right? And then, you don't have to get an entire calendar out, but make sure you're mapping out some launches or making sure like, okay, in the next 2 months, I'm definitely writing 3 emails about this. Right. So
Mhm.
the biggest mistake I see is just trying to complicate it, starting with a funnel, thinking you have to buy all this tech software to, you know, count down timers and this and that. Really just start simply and then grow from there.
We
Yeah.
actually just got a comment on Facebook. Let me put it in here. Rachel, she said, I struggle with knowing what to send without being salesy. I want to bring value, but also build a funnel that is productive and purposeful. Right now, it all feels so random.
Yeah, Rachel, and I say it with love, don't build a funnel right now. If you don't even know what to send in your newsletters, how are you going to build a funnel that works? And I say that with love. Can you tell I didn't get a lot of sleep last night? I just don't, I want to discourage you because building a funnel is a lot of hard work. And then you put the funnel in and you make no sales and you wonder, if the three of us are like crooks and, this is all just a scam, right? So what I want you to do is figure out what to send in your newsletters. How we talked about at the beginning of the hour, how the heck are you going to connect with your audience? What do you like to talk about with them? What do you want to say about your products? Don't think about selling. Your products are for serving, not for, actually, I think we can put that up on the screen. Okay, stop making sales.
Yes.
Start solving problems. Okay. That's all you've got to do. So, in your newsletters and your sales emails, what are you going to write? To Rachel's point, like, I don't know what to write. Just serve them. Okay. Like, your products are for serving, not selling. So, however you need to serve your people, that's what you need to be putting in your emails. I think, can I share my screen?
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
don't know if I can.
I
Okay.
believe
Present, share screen. Okay. Maybe I'm trying to select a tab here and it's going to do that weird wonky thing. Can you see this? I'm going to give you about 10 ideas right now. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So these are directly from my membership. So here's an idea. Feel like people want to feel like part of the community. So facilitate a conversation around your community by pointing out places where they can find friends, right? So Facebook groups. If you're in a Facebook group that you really like, share it with your audience is what that means. Here's another idea. Share a mistake you made when learning how to do your niche thing, right? So if I'm in an RV travel industry, I wrote a whole book about the mistakes people make, right? So people bond with people that understand and are humans, right? So sharing a mistake really makes you very relatable. Share your favorite resource. Ask your people if they, value their time or their money more. Give them some baby steps, right? A lot of advice for people out there is overwhelming. Show them how to take their must do's and break them into smaller steps. Share your favorite tool, right? Like, I think we're just overcomplicating this. Share some fun facts about your industry. Share why you started your business. Share a story about when you got lucky in your business. Send a picture so people know what you look like, right? Super simple stuff, friends. Super simple stuff. And then, like I said, in the PS of all those emails, if you're like, well, Liz, I want to make sales, just put in the PS. PS for the lucky one. PS, here's something else that's lucky. 5% off everything in my store. Boom.
that's
I
a
love
great point because I feel like when we talk about making sales via, email marketing, you feel like you have to put the whole sales sequence and everything, it's like that huge thing in our minds. When in fact, all you need is a PS, right? People will still click, they will still see what you're offering, and you don't have to like work that whole thing up in your head and like get anxiety or get frustrated because nobody bought into your sales sequence, right?
Right. And
Mhm.
then, anyone that clicks on that PS, you could send a follow-up email. if they didn't buy. Hey, saw you clicked, but you didn't buy. And maybe you make a quick video. Maybe you needed a little more information. Here's what it looks like behind the scenes. Here's what it looks like, inside our membership. Here's what it looks like, to use this spreadsheet. Here's an example. Here's the link. Let me know if you have other questions, right? Just very simple way of selling. And then when you do a lot of that, you start to see what actually sells. Oh, people love it when I send that video out. Or, oh, people love it when I send a follow-up FAQ. Which one makes more sales? That's when you're going to know, oh my gosh, now I know what to put in my funnel.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you find, so I noticed some people are like the bring value, bring value, bring value, then you sell. So if you're doing that with your emails, or is it acceptable to be like bring value in all of your emails and like be adding this PS in all of them or most of them? Is that a way that you can go about that? I think sometimes people feel like they're so afraid of selling that they like always deliver value, but you never really get to the selling part. So is that a way to like slip in the sales?
Yeah. So when someone signs up for your email list, they're actively looking for a solution. So your best solutions are your paid products, right? Remember, your products are for serving. So in order to really serve them, they need to get into your membership or buy your digital product or whatever. So I would suggest selling in just about every email, whether you do it in a PS, you take a couple weeks off and then you sell again. Remember, they're actively searching for a solution. The value you're adding is, hey, I know your problem. Come over here so I can help you with it. Right. And we talked, I don't know, about a half an hour ago about sharing personal updates so you can connect with your audience. Hey, I went for a walk. I did that. Even those personal updates are adding value because you're connecting to them, and we all crave connection.
That's awesome. I love to hear that. That tends to be my style with my other business, is like bringing value and then slipping in like the little sales. But it's always like connecting that value with that product too.
Yeah, exactly. So if I had a list building challenge, I'm going to talk about the importance of list building. Maybe I give them a few ideas, and then I say, actually, I'm running a live list building challenge. It's $12. You can sign up here, right? So it's not totally random. You can do those little, value adds, and then say, oh, you want to take this seriously? Come over here.
Nice. I love that. I've noticed that some people are selling the idea of, so you've got this campaign and they're sending emails like crazy. Like, how many emails are too many? I've even heard last week there was a YouTube video where they were like sending emails until they either buy or unsubscribe. And I was like, whoa, that's so
pretty
how many
aggressive.
emails? Yeah.
I mean, this answer is going to change every single year for you. What are you comfortable with right now? I invite you, whatever you're comfortable with, to challenge yourself to 1 or 2 more emails. The next year, it's going to be a different answer, right? It's going to be 1 or 2 more emails, 1 or 2 more emails, right? So when my first, big digital product launch, I mentioned earlier, it was 8 emails over 5 days. That was me challenging myself. I would have just sent 5, right?
Yeah.
1 a day, but I added those 2 on the last day. Now, oh my gosh, I'll send like 10 to 15 in 5 days. But that's where I'm comfortable with myself and with my audience, right? So I really just, whatever you say, oh, well, maybe I could send 3 emails. What if you sent 4, right? And that helps you see, again, Rachel had she said, without being salesy. What is wrong with selling? I love buying stuff. I honestly, yesterday, I just bought a house. I loved the realtor. She was awesome. She was selling, right? She was like, look at this. Look at that. Oh, you seem kind of quirky. Let me show you the quirkiest thing in the house. She was selling, baby. And so there's nothing wrong with sales. I want you to remember your products are for serving. So you've got to sell them, right? And y'all, like, you have a stomach, you have a light bill, maybe you've got a kid or two. You have to sell. Like, that's just the nature of how we live in 2024. So, like, I invite you to, if you're scared of sales, like, just sell anyway. Challenge yourself. If you're comfortable with 5, don't sell 10. I don't want you to jump out of your skin, but send 6, send 7 emails, and then you're going to realize, oh my gosh, the sky didn't fall. I didn't lose money. In fact, I made money, and it's going to help you out a lot.
That's actually a good point because, again, like I say, I'm an overthinker, and I, usually don't send emails, because one, I can't be like direct and to the point. I like babble on. So, but every time we send an email out for whatever reason it is, we have been adding our membership, and we all always have a sale, at least one. We always have somebody join our membership from those emails, and it's like I feel like the whole feeling of, oh, I don't want to feel salesy, I don't want to be salesy. It's because we've put in so much work on our lead magnets, right, to bring those people into our list. And then when you start selling and the people are like, oh, I don't want to buy it, this is not for me, and then they leave, I feel like that feeling, of the unsubscribed, it is like more of like almost like a rejection, right? Wow, you came to me, you looked for my thing, you grabbed my freebie, and now you left, right? So you have that feeling like, what did I do wrong? I feel like that's why people don't want to be salesy, because they don't want people leaving because they don't want to buy or something like that.
I love what she just said. I did something wrong. Here's the thing. Some people just want the freebie. And don't
Yeah.
we love consent, ladies? And so they consented to get the freebie, and then they're out of here, right? They don't want, they're not ready for the next step. And so it's not that you did anything wrong, because you're in your lane and you're doing what you have to do to build your business. It's
Mhm.
that this person is just not right for them. And I understand that that's emotional, but you have to do right by you and yours, not by every single person that joins your email list, right?
Any tip on how to like do the mindset shift of like not feeling bad when somebody unsubscribe? Like I don't
Yeah.
feel that anymore. Like to me, it's like whatever.
Yeah.
You're not meant to be on my list. But a lot of people, like especially new in in the email
Yeah.
marketing world.
My main tip is to just keep emailing. It's going to suck when you see unsubscribes. It's going to be emotional. Melinda mentioned my Facebook group. You can go in there. You can, vent. It totally sucks. I see it every day in my Facebook group. Oh my gosh. And then just, the more you do it, the more, you realize, like Andrea said, like, whatever. I'm not for them, right? The mindset shift is not going to just come. You have to take action. Like, confidence does not come before action. Action comes first. Always. You have to take action. Then you're going to get the confidence, because you're going to start to see the sales, or even just the clicks and the replies at first. You're going to see some movement. And that's going to say, oh, well, I wrote this email and I really liked it. And this is the message I wanted to put out today. And if those people didn't like it, then I'm not for that. I have to let them go. Right.
Yeah, and I
And
feel
so
like
you just got to keep writing.
yeah, and I feel like once your list gets bigger and bigger, you start to let go a little more. To me, it was more like when it was in the beginning, like my gosh, I have 100 people, and out of the 100 people, 3 left. That's a big number, right? It's scary. You worked so hard for those 100.
Yes.
Now our list is over like 6,000, and we're just like we don't even keep track of them subscribes anymore. To be honest, we know they happen every now and then. We just keep building. We keep emailing. If they want to stay, they'll stay. If not, they were not for you. They're not your audience, right?
Yeah, I love what you just said. Just keep building. If you have 100 people on your email list and you're not building your email list, yeah, sending an email is scary, because you know that some people are going to unsubscribe. You've got to actively build your email list. You have to, that's pretty much the most important thing in your business is to grow your list. I'm sure these ladies will tell you, yeah, the more we build our email list, the more our business grows. And so that's like the number one thing I do in my business every single day is how can I grow my email list? And then of course I got to send emails out to see some movement.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we put it on the screen, spreadsheetables.com/050624. That's today's date. We have all of Liz's information in there. Her Facebook group, her membership. She gave you guys a gift, which is a welcome sequence, 3 newsletter templates, and 52 subject lines, I believe, right?
Yeah, great memory. So, yeah, if you go to that link, you can check that out. If you're wondering, oh, Liz, what is my next step? That has everything in it for you. It's got that, welcome sequence already written for you. It's got some newsletter templates from the membership so you can sample them for free. And it's got some subject lines for you. Really awesome stuff.
Awesome. I put the link there for you. So spreadsheetables.com/EMM freebie. So that's email marketing membership freebie. Do you want to talk about, I know you showed us a little glimpse of some of the swipe files there in the membership. It's a $9 a month membership, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. I pay for it and I don't remember how much it is.
Yeah, it's email marketing membership and it's $9 a month. You can check it out, cancel anytime. And again, it's just that weekly template that I send to you every single week. It's Monday morning, so you can take and make it your own. Each template, it's not just a template. It comes with a video walkthrough, usually 3 to 5 minutes, like a mini training, an explanation on why you would want to send this email and how you could vary the template for your goals. It also comes with 2 swipes, which are 2 A+ examples of what the template might look like according to your business. That way, it's a very holistic look at the template so you can actually use it for your business. Of course, there's some bonuses in there. You can sort by sales, getting clicks, getting replies. There's a list building training if you're like, yeah, Liz, I'm that person that's had 50 people on my list for 2 years. There's a list building training in there. Lots of other awesome stuff in there. $9 a month. Why not try it out? You can cancel anytime. I'd love to see you in there.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love your membership. I go in there. And so I'll look at your newest one. So she publishes one a week. So I go in and look at the new ones. If that one's not jiving with me, she's got a search option. And I just type in keywords like the fun fact. I've actually looked for, is there a fun fact? Is there something for St. Patty's Day, like the lucky one? And she has different kind of levels of it. So one of them is like a really simple kind of prompt to fill in the blanks. And then, like she said, the more detailed examples so you can see. And sometimes I see her ideas and I'll just just go ahead, fill in the blanks. And then sometimes it jogs me to be like, oh, I should talk about this other thing. So it just gets your mind thinking about, okay, what am I going to say? Just like Rachel said, like, what am I going to talk about? Well, this is like a vault full of ideas. If you're stumped, it takes me no time at all to go in, grab it, and send that email out. So there's no excuses anymore for email marketing. We had a lot of members say that they haven't been doing emails. So now is the perfect time to do that.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait to see what everyone does with email. Thank you, ladies, so much.
Thank you very much, Liz. This is wonderful. Thanks for coming. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.